Ryan. We kind of had to get out of here last time that you were here.
Yeah.
And the fact that you pushed through and passed the resolutions for the bonds and all the other resolutions that had to take place and your consideration, I didn't think I gave you a proper thank you. And so I just wanted to go on record saying thank you for your trust and pushing through with us. Thank you.
Was everything submitted to EFC?
Yes, sir.
Well, since the ex-chair had something to say, I guess I have to join. I reiterate, we went and talked up, particularly Bill's help for us last week in helping push it along. And we really took to heart the considerations that we have to get a really good developed procedure and scrutiny and oversight of all these invoicing. And we'll be talking a little bit about that later, but we appreciate that your interest in getting that to you in the way it works for you, and we're going to get it done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other audience comments? If not, we need to thank you for that, guys. The minutes of May 28th, did everyone, I reviewed them. Did anybody have any objections?
Make a motion to accept the minutes?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brian abstains. There are no budget modifications nor transfers. I'll make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports. Supervisor report. I want to tell you that we've been working on the well siting, and we had a Teams meeting yesterday, and came up with 4 possibilities of sites. One is on not the hike.
Kessler, 85.
One is on Kessler, but the other one is Hilltown Commons on their property. I reached out to Doug and asked him if Doug Parvis, who's president of that, and selling us a parcel, a piece. He responded that he would. I haven't reached out to Kessler. The playground is the 3rd site. If we use that site, we have to get an easement from the hike preserve, so I'm not excited about that. And the 4th spot was like in the area of the septic system. But they would just availability of water. So being to the septic is not, we have to be 200 feet from anything. We have to control 200 feet from wherever those sites are, according to the Department of Health. I'm probably going into your report, but I'm just going to continue. So
Yeah.
we'll just get it done quicker. So those 4 sites. I've not spoke to Kessler's. Kessler's house is up for sale, along with 20 acres, so we don't know what those possibilities are. But the first thing I have to do is get permission from Hilltown Commons and from Kessler's if we're gonna pick those 2 spots. And they'll do, without disturbing the soil, they'll do some kind of test to see if it's feasible to put a well. So that's the first step.
There's a well existing in restaurant. That's the area you're speaking of?
No.
Say it again.
No, the Hilltown Commons up on Pond Hill, below those buildings. I don't know
We'll be using the one.
what buildings
Yeah,
are
the
there?
one below is theirs.
I think they're using the one below. They're 85. Yeah, for the restaurant.
Not 85, they're not using that. There's another well. So across that great lawn where they used to have the fireworks, like in that area.
Okay.
So anyway, that's some progress on that. what was helpful going to the water district meeting. I want to read this about the veteran stand down. This came from the mayor of me to state that you're going to have a veteran stand at the Village of Colony on Saturday, October 17th. This includes medical screening, employment, haircuts, hygiene products, clothing, and food. So I'm going to post this and we'll put it on our website. Just to know, tell our veterans that that is available on that day.
It's my birthday.
Hmm?
It's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
When's your birthday? October 17th.
And then finally, I want to read this. Just wanted to update the town of Rensselaerville of the successful season we had this year at the Rensselaerville Rod and Gun Club. The Greenville High School trap team took first place at the New York State Championships out in Cicero, New York. This is a great accomplishment. This being our fourth year hosting the Greenville High School trap team at the Rensselaerville Rod and Gun Club. We have won our conferences all 4 years. New York State Championship. Here, the focus on gun safety, team building, and sportsmanship. The level of effort put forth by both our kids paid off with great results. And this letter is from Scott Wank, president of Rensselaerville Rod and Gun Club. So that was a positive. Although there was no resolution to, I still get complaints about shots and.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could do about it. The Rod and Gun Club, we had a meeting and it was pretty clear that they've been there a lot longer than the people that are complaining. I'll just leave it at that. All right, so that's my report. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the supervisor's report.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The accountant, his report is basically the budget versus the actual. So when you guys want to peruse that, and shows our balances, this is available to anyone. If you like. But anyway, that's his report, our expenses, everything's in order. So we're in good shape. And that is the accountant's written report. I'll make a motion to accept the accountant's written report.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The attorney's report.
Two things. One, siding, I read that as well. Going to be helpful if we could get easement property owners. And in the absence of easements, we'll have to do an eminent domain, which is a procedure that you need to follow to acquire the easements under the eminent domain procedure law. Second thing is, I got a response to the FOIL request from DEC on the dam. And it's quite extensive, and I've been reading through it. I'm about halfway done. And when I'm finished, I'll make a more amplified report to the board, but I wanted to let you know that I received a response. And I'm plowing my way through it. It's a lot of attachments.
I'm sure.
That's it? Oh, and the other thing is, I read this. You can sign it. It's later in the meeting, we'll have to do a resolution authorizing you to sign the application for Green Innovation Grant funding for the water meters for the water district.
And one other thing about the well siting,
Yes.
apparently Hilltown Commons has some kind of
Conservation easement.
thank you. conservation easement. So we'll have to look into that if we decide to go through.
Does it encumber the entire parcel?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we'll look into it.
Well, once we get permission to do that test,
We'll
see if
find
we're
out.
even going to put wells there.
We'll find out.
Then we'll continue.
All right.
I make a motion to accept the attorney's report. Favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Conservation. Okay, is Jason off here?
No,
No, he has a
he
written
has a
report.
written report.
Okay, so written report.
Yeah, he's got it.
Okay.
Want me to read it?
Oh, thank you.
The Miller Road project's been completed. The project went very well. Lake St. Don't make any soil and water for the assistance of hydro seeding, the disturbed area. First round of roadside mowing has been completed throughout the town. Asphalt patching operations are scheduled to begin next week. The town has received an increase in its CHIPS funding totaling $27,294, which will help our ongoing highway maintenance and improvement efforts. 7 is currently out for repairs work being performed, includes the replacement of a high-pressure fuel pump, several sensors, the timing cover gasket, and oil pan. I'm currently working on an Albany County Soil and Water grant application to pursue additional funding opportunities for the town. The transfer station continues to operate smoothly with no significant issues to report. Respectfully submitted, Jason Roth, Highway Superintendent.
And just for the record, after each one of those items, there is a period, even though Brian didn't pronounce that. Okay.
Trying to get it going.
I move we accept the highway recycling report.
Written report, I'll second it. Wait. Right?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good. Town clerk.
For the month of May, everybody has the numbers. We had 0 water and 0 sewer rent payments, and that's typical for this time of year. So this being one of our slower months, we're just catching up on smaller projects that we've left behind the rest of the year. So we really don't have anything other than a monthly report.
I make a motion to accept Victoria Craker's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Where's Tim?
There's-
Again,
That's all right. Code enforcement officer, building inspector, his report is a written report showing $1,028 in permit fees. Increases the valuation of about $132,000 for seven different permits. We see Micah Kuhar is getting a pool permit. We know if we don't get the AC, we know what we will.
Tim is with somebody.
The assessors,
I'll make a motion
Motion
to
to
accept
accept
the
it.
building. I'll make a motion to accept the building permits, or building inspector report.
It's second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The assessor report, we received 5 property transfers for May of '26, 3 for estate planning, 1 residential, and 1 transfer between corporations. The tentative roll for 2026 was submitted to the town clerk on May 1st. Grievance day was held on May 26th. 48 at the town hall. No grievances were filed at the meeting. Yours truly, that means we're too long. Yours truly, Peter Hotel, when he said, what happened to everybody's humor, man? Nobody's laughing.
No, I laughed at that.
John, can you do the library report before water and sewer?
Sure. Do I have a library?
Do we have a motion?
Yeah.
Huh?
Motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the assessment.
It's second.
All in favor? Aye. I'm sorry, so the library,
You guys already got the strategic plan, but I brought a copy of it in case somebody didn't get it or you wanted it. And this is our upcoming events and our ongoing events schedules, which you're probably all pretty familiar with. We do
no?
well, with the upcoming events, what has been added is they're doing a film the last Thursday of the month now at the Rensselaerville Library. There are, let me see, we have, at the Rensselaerville Library, we've got a film hour, we've got a knitting hour, we've got a writing group, and we have a kids and caretakers hour. And then at the Medusa branch, we have a games group, we have a crafts group, we have story time on Saturdays, and we have kids craft hours on Saturdays also. So, trying to keep it busy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta make a motion to accept the library report. I make a motion to accept the library report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know you were looking at this. So now we'll go on to water sewer. Okay.
Thank you. You all have hard copy of, if you look at the boldface, you can see the first thing is the hydrant update. We are having a hydrant flush on Monday. I spoke to the chief, and I think his name is Hake, and we've looked at the requirements for it. We're moving forward with that. Monday at 6:30, Vicky's been notified. The notice will go out to the water users probably tomorrow, right? Right, okay. So that's a good thing because that hydrant flush is getting a little outstanding. On the water district, there's a number of items. Number one, the Albany County Department of Health has reviewed the annual water quality report, and they've accepted it. And there was a question last time about an invoice that had been submitted and was unsure where it came from. Well, it was connected to that report from the Adirondack Testing Laboratory. We went over it. It's been approved, and Carolyn Bauer is paying it. So there's nothing more to do with that. The second item is still waiting for confirmation. It's called the Annual State Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. And really, this is more to do with John Rice, but it's been submitted. We expect it to be accepted, and Vicky's waiting for that. Right. The third item down here, the GIP grant, the innovation grant. Yes, we were here 2 weeks ago and really hyperventilating about whether we could get it all done in that short time frame. Jaren Corella was here tonight, and she's just a marvel. It's been done for 2 days. We got letters of support from Tague, Fahey, Tonko, and Schumer, and they get tacked on to the application. And all we're looking for now tonight is your approval of that. Tomorrow is the deadline, and that will be submitted. That is the GIP, the innovation grant for meters. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Number 4, the drinking water revolving fund. This is what we've been laboring with for a long, long time. I don't know what we would do without Ed and Jaren's assistance in this, but we're getting, as John mentioned before, we've been moving forward on the well site. I have abstained from participating in the well siting because my property was one of the sites under consideration, and I didn't think it was appropriate for me to be, in any way participating, and someone could look at that askew. But anyhow, I'm down the list. I'm probably not considering really anymore. There is a highlight on this AI, and you all have received, or it's available, the well siting report from Ty and Bond. The last pages on that are about what John was talking about, the potential well sites, and that's all up for consideration, and it's moving forward. Ed's been involved in that, and Jaren, and again, I've stayed out of that because of my concern that have it viewed inappropriately. The double I, a meeting was held. John mentioned it, so I don't really need to say it. It's all been talked about. It's ongoing. So let's see if we can get this site decided soon and they get out there and do some drilling. We really, the holy grail is we got to find that water. John, you're going to be following up with the property owners. B on this list, The town board approved 12,800 for time bond to complete the updated IUP listing. That was the May 29th. It's all gone through, and we're really happy about that. And that IUP amendment will add quite a bit of money to it for ties, additional work, property acquisition, and SEQR compliance. Next item down is C. Sustainable Growth is working with the town and our committee, our new acronym there, RWSDAC. Gets longer every month. And we will be looking for stakeholder engagement and funding agency to start disbursement for the project. We talked about this, Jaren and I, extensively, and we noted last time, and I mentioned it earlier, that you're concerned that you would get really granular invoicing and have a chance to approve it. And we're going forward, and there has been a document submitted to you tonight that is the preliminary, our ideas about moving forward to, achieve what you would be satisfied with in terms of procedure for invoicing. And so you can please consider it. It's not a done deal, but at least now we got a document and we got an idea, and we're marrying that and with some granularity, and let's hope we can get something that everybody's satisfied with soon. Okay, so please take a look at it. Number 5, Ed pointed this out to me. The lakes are, nothing's going over the spillway, and I have enough history here, but it seems pretty early in for the water to be this low. So let's hope this drought that we're having, is somehow fixable. There is some rain this week. Number 6, the curb stop update. John, I submitted an email to you yesterday. We had 2 documents that I had developed with John Van Schaik. One was a listing of all the curb stops in the town with some table columns on it as to what ones we had found and what we were able to do to describe them. But then I sent to John a second list of just 11 of them, which were very good examples of the problems we're having that we're discovering in the curb stops. And John, we'll be meeting with you next week. And the question is, how do we go forward in getting a bid out? Do we need to go to competitive bidding? Can we do something small and maybe somehow avoid some of that? We have worked with Andre Nadeau in the past, and I contacted him, and he's ready to do some work for us this year. His work was very satisfactory. He puts the hydrants in, right? And he also did some curb stop work. So it would be great if we could do a sampling with him and then find out what the cost of it. John, that's your decisions, and we'll go over it next week. Okay, fair enough?
After we go over it, I'll contact the town board.
Great, okay, yeah. The types of issues that we're coming across, why they're so strange, is one of them is you get to a curb stop and you can find it and the top doesn't work. You can't get it open. The other one, you find a curb stop, there's no top, and the bar is bent, or the bar is straight, but it's filled with dirt. Then there are the ones that you don't even discover, and we've been out there with John's metal detector, and John Van Schaik and I spent 4 hours the other day. We found 4 curb stops. Just ridiculous, But we're going forward. We have found, or at least are able to say we can find, 52 of the 79 curb stops. And there's a table there that indicates what we have with them. The other one is, I mentioned the ones you can see, then there's the ones that are buried. Now, John Van Schaik and I dug up one by Trinity Church the other day. You got a signal? 12 inches down below the surface. And that was off to the side of the road. And then there are many other where we get a signal and they're under the pavement, which is the 4th problem. So this is like really a considerable problem. And remember, these things are 40 plus years old and time passes on. So it's a bigger problem than I expected to find when I came on board. And now that the more we look at it, the more complex it becomes. So it demands attention and probably some real consideration as to how we can afford to go forward with this. So the idea of sampling what the costs are is because since we got such variety of issues and the costs for them will change or be different, we ought to understand at least what some are and what other costs are, and maybe then we can choose which ones we want to work with first. Of course, the ones above ground are the ones easiest, And then the last thing on that, and there's a note in there for you, John, it's not that understandable. Up on Albany Hill, the last curb stop on the left, whoever, it was in their driveway and it was down about 10 inches, but they had put a sleeve in there, a copper sleeve with a kind of a little manhole top that you could get off so they could get down to it. So we're going to look into that because, you know, we're continually going to have the problem that time goes on and more stuff goes on top of these curb stops. It's a really kind of simple but complex issue. I have two more items. Number 7, myself and 3 members of the committee, all the men on the committee, transported 13 bags of that carbon up to the infiltration plant. John Rice told me tonight he and Ken will get that infiltration plant carbon switched out. Then we have to get the used bags, which are even heavier because they're wet out of there, but we'll take care of that. And then lastly, we'd like to invite the board members, if they're interested. We've scheduled for this Sunday at 10 a.m. a walking tour for the committee, led by Ed, who's been gracious about it. You know, we all hear about it, we see pieces about it. This would be really comprehensive, and therefore everyone would do what they need to do going forward. So that's the water report for so long. I hope it's okay. Right. Gentlemen, any questions? All right, thank you.
When we do bids annually, could we just do a bid for a contractor to provide like an hourly rate for contracting for the water district? So as things come up, you didn't have to worry about going out to bid much like you would do like a maintenance agreement or anything like that.
You don't know what's gonna come up.
That's what I mean. Like, so if I said to you, if the 5 of us or 6 of us wanted to bid on it, we would bid what our hourly rate would be. So that way it's just set for the year.
I'm pretty sure Andre would do that. He's
Like we at
very
work,
professional.
we bid out our vehicle maintenance, and it's basically the company bid for what their hourly rate is. They bid on what an oil change is and that kind of stuff. If it would save time.
So you wouldn't identify what the work is because
Right.
you wouldn't know what it is
Right.
until it happens.
Yeah.
But you're just seeking an hourly rate for any work that comes out here. Yeah, I'm not fine with that.
Something to think
Kind of
about.
like an engineer of record,
That's fine.
Just something you might think
but for a
about
vendor.
next year when we do the bids. If you got like wrote it up, like typical work would be emergency hydrant replacement, emergency curb stop replacement, water line break. They can come in, whether you went to the wrong person, it's already put out the bid. There's something to think about.
We agree. Thank you.
I'll second Pete's.
Yeah, Andre's the guy though.
No, do we vote on that? The water district, you vote, right? You made a motion, I'll second. Or accept the what?
Did you make a motion?
I didn't make a motion
Oh, do it.
to what, accept the water report.
Yeah, do it.
I make a motion to accept the water.
I'll second.
Okay,
All in favor?
Nice job.
Have another sip here, you.
So we're still talking about Andre.
Okay, for old business, we discussed last time the resolution for expenses for the water district capital improvement projects. Do you want to read that, Bill?
Yeah, this is in response to what we discussed at the last meeting. Resolve the town designated project engineer for the capital improvement project for the Rensselaerville Water District shall submit to the town board 1 week prior to its first monthly meeting a detailed statement setting forth expenses incurred for the prior month with respect to this project, and it is further resolved that the report shall also contain a proportion of the monthly expenses to the total bid amount for the contractor submitting any request for payment. And I think that encapsulates what Randy mentioned last time we were here.
So we need a motion to accept this resolution.
I make a motion to accept the resolution. The project engineers provide a monthly report of details stated in this resolution.
I'll second it. Is this a roll call?
No, you can just do it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, okay. Moving on. I'd like to go back to the specs for the AC. Well, because there's not much left, and then, did everybody read those reports? Brian did. So we got different estimates. It was a little confusing to be honest with you. And Brian, you didn't get to see it. Do you guys want to talk about that or have a chance to review it further? You know, everybody was talking about mini splits. I'm just going to give my opinion on it. The mini splits, there are many different units that go with that. You know, every room has to have a mini split.
You end up with 3.
Excuse me?
You can end up with 3.
No, I think it's, so I'm going to read one of these. For the town clerk, they'll install an 18,000 BTU. For the office next to the clerk, which is Carolyn's office, that's another one. For the back meeting room would be another one. For the assessor's office would be another one. For the courtroom would be another. I really don't know how to go forward with this because we're getting, a lot of it I don't understand.
Well, how do we compare as apples and oranges?
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's 2 totally different systems.
You know, 5 mini splits. The one person I spoke to would have one unit with ductwork that feeds every unit.
And what was that quote amount?
I think it was like 40 grand,
What was the quote for the mini splits?
42. But before we decide on this, I really would like to do a better job at deciphering this and call some of these people back and have them explain to us. You know, maybe me or one other person would be nice.
Did you give the tonnage on the mini splits?
BTUs.
Yeah, it's BTUs, and so, John, if you want, I'll talk to my dad, and I'll be happy to come over. You're gonna, I'm just
I mean, does,
sorry, but I'm flat out at work, so like I'm literally worried about air conditioning in October by the time we get it done, but if I talk to my dad, he can probably come help you and just so you understand what they're talking about. My problem, and I talked to my dad about this earlier. I have a mini split, and I actually have both in my house. So I have an air handler upstairs, which is ductwork. And then downstairs in my house, I have mini splits. Both of them are heat pumps. My house in Tennessee, full ductwork, all just heat pumps. So I'm talking when I say that electric. I have a little shack down in Tennessee. I call my man cave with a little split mini unit in it. Works great. Mom and dad have split mini units. My brother, all work great. I have mini units at work. I wouldn't give you 5 cents for all of them put together running because they never stay running long enough. That's probably a vendor and the low bid option type of thing that you have to keep in mind. But when you look at these, you really need, I didn't, this is the first time I've seen them, so I'll take these home and give them to him. And then maybe he can sit and explain it to you. Or mini splits in the church in Preston Hollow, if anybody like to stop in, it's not locked. We've got it, C&M Mechanical did that, did a phenomenal job, very clean, very easy. The thing about the mini splits are, you know, there's no duct work, so you're, you know, it's just run the pipe through the wall and put them up. When one breaks, you take it down and fix it or throw it out, but put it in splits. So, you know, when you're putting in ductwork to put it into all these offices, I'm assuming they looked at this.
Yes.
So,
And the one said that they were right down the middle of this hallway
Okay.
and just,
yeah, right.
There's also the argument to be made only because, so, like, I have forced air in my house, same thing, heat pump, and then the restaurant has mini splits. We've had issues with both. There's reasons why I hate both, but truly. But with the restaurant, when one of the mini splits went down, the other ones were still working, so you weren't without air, you weren't without. So there's a bit of an argument. Yeah, there's also the same thing. There's just as many units, so there's just more things to break too. 100%. That's why I could argue both sides completely.
so can we, let's take some time out. I like to table this decision. I want to take some time out and maybe Randy, me and you, or whatever, we could,
I'll take these to Dad.
yep,
And he can maybe come over next Tuesday when you're here.
it'd be great.
And if Randy's around, I'm sorry, I'm in Buffalo, I can't do it, but I'll see if Dad will be willing to come over and talk to you. He understands it. I mean, it's newer technology, what he's been retired for.
That was my next question, the new one.
But he installed them in my house, so he still knows enough about them. And maybe he can help you answer. I don't know Nolan. My dad does a lot of work with Nolan, and I
Good.
appreciate them. I know all three of these are solid
Company.
companies, 100%. C&M Mechanic was in my house and they did the church. I know some people that work at First Choice, so they're all solid. So I would just try to get some idea which way you want to go. And unfortunately, I think you're gonna have a horror story either way. The one thing I think that with an outdoor condensing unit heat pump, they tend to only go down, like mine only goes down to about 20 degrees. My mini splits go down to like -20.
Yep.
So I can use my heat pumps longer with the mini splits than I can with the air. Costs are substantially higher right now than home
Yep.
heating oil.
Yeah.
So my mom and dad run their split mini units
Yep.
well into December before they switch to propane.
That's why we got talked into getting them for the restaurant. That's why they were like, trust us, you want these instead of.
Yeah.
But the restaurant generates a lot of heat.
Absolutely it does.
This is actually,
Well, they pump, I mean, I'm telling you, they pump out heat.
Yeah.
Better than my heat pump ductwork. That one, it's way better air
Also not
conditioning.
open 24/7 like a house, Turn it on and turn it off.
all right, so it's good to table this?
It is, but let's keep it moving, right? I mean, we've been talking about this as the Vogue thing. Like,
January.
you know, they're gonna be in here dead of heat exhaustion because we're still talking about which one we wanna do. So let's just make a freaking decision and do it. I agree, you should spend some time looking at it and let my dad come over, but let's have a decision by the next meeting to go ahead.
Yes, okay, I agree with that. That'll give enough time. Right, guys? All right. Okay.
That was not in my pack.
No, nine.
What's that?
The quote.
Specifications for the bids there.
I think we did that last,
Yeah, last
Yeah, which-
last meeting.
They had a-
That's where I got mine, but I'll get you a copy.
I have last week.
Okay, so, new business, resolution authorizing the supervisor to apply for EFC Innovation Grant Program for $104,500 for the water meter project.
This is through the Environmental Facilities Corporation. And I reviewed it, and you can sign it, and it's authorizing the submission of the application for the grant, for the water meters.
Just need a motion to authorize and sign it.
A motion to approve it and to authorize his signature, yes.
I make a motion that we approve
The
the
Green Innovation Grant Program
Green Innovation Grant Program
of application.
application and authorize the supervisor to sign.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay,
Yes.
Melissa Davis. This letter's from Melissa Davis. I'm writing to formally announce my resignation from my position at the town of Russellville as court clerk, effective June 23rd, or on appointment of a replacement for the position.
I'll move we accept the resignation of Melissa Davis.
I'll second it. All in favor? So with that, I'm gonna jump to, we want to appoint Mary Ann Witt as court clerk from June 11th to December 31st. And she's gonna resign as court officer. So we'll start with the accept resignation of Mary Ann Witt as court
Can I just
officer.
ask one first? I don't mean to be a bug, but we advertise for all these things all the time. We don't have to advertise this. Like, we're not gonna get pushed back like we didn't advertise.
I believe that's the question, Phil.
Well, was the position advertised? Well, it should be.
I don't know, Mary Ann, but I know Donnie, but they will be, but as I'm seeing we're doing it, like, I was just thinking, like, we apply, we always put a thing on the board that we're looking for permissions for this, and now all of a sudden we're just doing it. I was just curious if you did that, or if we should do it. I want to get, like, the pushback that we didn't.
What happens is that, like Melissa resigning, it doesn't give us enough time to fill that position if we're gonna advertise. We didn't know this was coming.
We rarely get any more than one applicant for any position, very rare.
I'm just,
Well, you,
so let me put it this way, we have to run the town and we need people to run the town.
I understand that, but there's also an obligation that you have to post positions that are available.
It's a policy or a law.
Well, under the civil service law, there are regulations that state that. So to answer your question, yes, it's the law.
But it's just a civil service position.
Yes, it is.
To add more question to it, because it is someone resigning, so we're trying to fill a position of someone resigning, there is a appointment term, like it goes till the 31st of this year, could someone be open for people applying, because she's just filling the end of the term?
Well, you could appoint her on an interim basis now,
Now, so you have someone to do the job now, we could wait
and then you can post it now, and then
That
go
way
through
we're
the
not
steps.
without people.
I just want to do it right.
Yeah, I agree.
Truly, I'm just trying to not make everything grind to a halt.
Yeah, and I don't, like, I know Don was in the firehouse, man, I love it, right? I don't want to think that I'm trying to not get him to do the thing, but I also don't want
Yeah,
to be
I'm just trying to find a solution that,
Yeah,
People
I know, I
don't-
agree. I
yeah.
think interim would be the best way to do it, is to hire an interim, and then we'll.
Start the advertisement.
Yeah.
And then maybe you only have the one applicant.
Yeah.
There won't be any issue.
and there's
Yeah,
we should put a limit on how much
That's it.
time people can apply or whatever,
That's
so
right.
that we can
And it's
just
clean.
wrap it up.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Mary Ann Witt as the interim court clerk, to such time we can post for the, position. Review applicants if there's enough.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. But Bill, are you telling us to advertise for that position tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, so how can we appoint her as interim? It could be for just a week, you're saying? Could we-
Well, what you do is you advertise the position, you say all applications are due by July 31.
Right,
And then if you receive applications, make a decision about who the best candidate is. And if you, excuse me, no applications, then the individual who you just appointed on an interim basis, I presume, will get the appointment.
John,
so,
the bottom line is, it's a non-competitive job, right? So we get to pick who we want. So if you say you don't want to do that, it leaves question to everybody in the world. Why don't you want anybody else to apply for it? Is there any weaknesses there? If she's so good, then she has nothing to worry about, because when everybody applies for it, we know it's just clean, right? There's nobody that can come here and say, Mr. Dolce, you didn't even give me an opportunity to apply for this.
And you do it the right way.
Yeah,
so my question is, you made a motion to appoint her interim.
Right.
Do we have to put a date,
No.
interim period?
As of today, she's appointed on an interim basis. And then you're going to post the position, and there's going to be a deadline for the applications, and then you're going to review them, and then make a decision ultimately on who you want for the court clerk.
Okay.
we do it all the time. We need a
Okay.
sergeant, there's no sergeant list, we appoint somebody as an interim or provisional sergeant until they take the sergeant's test, and then there it's a little more sketchy, because if you don't rank high enough on the sergeant's list, you're out, and the guy ranked higher. This is not,
This
Yeah,
is not a
as long as you're doing a
competitive
good
class.
job, but you're keeping it clean.
I wanted to just define interim.
Yeah.
Instead of
Short term.
Yeah, short term. just gotta
Short term.
make-
Right, I know what interim means. I meant, are we going to put a date on?
Or we can just approve her and get it over.
No,
Well, we're saying
no, it was, the motion was for an interim,
Basis.
and Brian made the motion, I seconded, we voted in favor of it, and I should have asked those questions before we voted. but- Okay, so now number 3, accept her resignation as court officer Mary Ann Witt as court officer effective June 11th.
I'll move we accept her resignation as the court officer effective June 11th.
What'd you say?
It's ridiculous what you guys are doing. Why didn't you just appoint her in the beginning?
Well, we just said why, because we didn't have.
Because of why?
Because it's illegal.
Because it's
No,
not
it's
right.
illegal.
It's illegal.
Sure about that, Bill?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I made a motion that we accept her resignation as court officer.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. So we have 2 resignations, Melissa and Mary Ann Witt, and we have appointed Mary Ann Witt on an interim basis as
The court clerk.
court clerk.
And I make a motion that we appoint Donald Hillikus as the interim court officer effective June 11th, 2026. And then we advertise for that position.
I'll second that also. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. All right, guys.
So we need a motion.
Any
You need a motion to authorize me to advertise advertise that and we need an end date for that.
So I make a motion that we advertise for both the court officer position and the court clerk position, and accepting applications through July, I did say January, July 31st of 2026.
You want the last meeting in July instead, Brian?
Okay, sure. What is that?
Twenty-third?
July 23rd.
That's a great day.
Happy birthday.
Do we want it to end the day before so that we can review it?
What?
Yeah, July 22nd, so that we can,
July 22nd,
Yeah.
Good point.
so that we can review it on the
End of-
23rd and.
end of business on July 22nd.
Good point.
And I also make a motion that we authorize the overlap for training purposes of Mary Ann with Melissa, understanding that there is enough money in the budget to allow that period of time of a month.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, any other audience comments, please?
I have one comment,
Sure.
that James Preston Hollow goes back to the heating system issue. I know you tabled it, but my 2 cents.
Yeah.
The other benefit of a split, and I have splits in my house, is when you're not using a room, it's easy to shut off the split and not shut off the whole, since you don't
That is
use all of these rooms all of the time.
That's a
In
good point.
terms of saving money and saving energy, being able to shut off a room and close it down
Yeah.
is easier than shutting off the whole system.
The assessor's
point.
office, the court, that you could close those
Right.
doors
Yep.
and they never have to be heated or, you know,
Or-
this room, like, you know, that's
It's a great-
actually.
It's a great point.
Great point.
Mini splits and
No, it's a good point. That's
It's a
really,
great point.
I didn't realize that.
Thank God you come back.
They end up with all
That's the reason I
different
came back.
Yeah,
We do have a couple of seats coming in the town board if you're interested.
What do I do in the winter when I'm in town?
Same thing I do on the Thursday, just don't come.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? Quickly, I just wanted to follow up. I did watch the board meeting. I watch every town board meeting. And I listened to some questions last time about how the funding flows. And I just wanted to sort of alleviate any concerns. Basically, once the town's project finance application is executed with the Environmental Facilities Corporation, the way that the financing works is called proportional drawdowns. So every time the town gets an invoice together for the tie and bond, the expenses that have happened, we will then work to submit. You have to collect all the paperwork, but you can submit it as soon as you have those costs. And then as long as all of the costs are approved by EFC and their partner Department of Health, then the payout is the 70-30. So at that point, you'll get 70% grant taken away, 30% for the zero interest financing. And that's just to get through the end of construction. And then at the end of construction, it's all, a new bonding process happens. So we can get into a lot more details. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is I did meet with the town accountant earlier this week, and he has promised to work with me to get on the same page about being able to have documentation for all of you so that you can kind of track, because there's going to be multiple expense accounts. He calls them companies, but particularly if we get the green infrastructure grant as well as the already existing EFC funding. But because the EFC funding is 70% grant and 30% zero interest loan, he will need to track things in a certain way. And so we just want to make sure that everyone has that information.
you just stated 70% grant,
Correct.
30%,
Zero.
but in the beginning was 70% grant
Mhm.
and 30% that we had a match.
Which
So-
grant are we talking about?
What?
There's no match for the drinking water,
The
state revolving loan.
30% is being paid for.
Correct,
No,
correct.
right? And
Because you're gonna have, when all is finished, you're going to tally up all your costs that may not fit under one of those two categories and have one final bond issue.
Because we won't know what the full construction costs are until we're done with construction.
The bond resolution that was approved
Right.
this month is short-term finance.
Correct.
For the construction phase of the project. In
So,
the end, it all gets shored up to one larger bond that
Correct.
pays for the entire project.
so on a monthly or whatever basis, when the invoices are submitted for payment,
Mhm.
those invoices come to the town or those,
Correct, so come
so
to the,
then the town would pay that and then seek reimbursement.
correct. And there's a
And
disbursement
what's
form.
the timeline for the town to receive reimbursement? from
They
the
say
state?
like 30 to 45 days once the disbursement form and all the accurate, correct documentation has been submitted. So
All right.
who is doing that, Joe?
who's
All the
doing
things
what?
that the project engineer.
Right, well, that's a
Who's
conversation
submitting the bills to
Well-
EFC?
that the town. At this point, that's the town's responsibility. The exact who is that needs to be determined. The engineering firm did not include funding agency disbursement in their scope of work. So that's something that I'm hoping to talk with Bill about this week to nail that down.
Does the town have the ability to do that?
Yes, I mean,
But she can't get overwhelmed.
well, of course,
You were
which is,
rolling your eyes before saying all these forms and.
yeah, no, and that's why the plan would be for the town to hire someone, whether it's tie and bond or some sustainable growth, to work closely with Vicky and all of the contractors to make sure that all of the paperwork is in order so that when it comes time to go and submit a disbursement, everything's ready and it isn't entirely on Vicky and Carolyn.
So Tig & Bond would charge more
Correct.
to issue a statement?
Yes.
That makes no sense. What do they actually do then?
Well, they're engineers, they're not planners and necessarily like administrators. So, I mean, you could ask them for a quote to do the work. We could certainly
mean,
do that.
What
And
we're looking for is accountability, and we want to know as a board
yes,
monthly going forward what's happening, because this money is going to be
Absolutely.
paid out of town reserves.
yes, and they will provide
And then
that
we'd be
separately from the disbursement. So there's the whole EFC funding and that's gonna pay tie and bond, but it's also paying Bill Ryan, it's paying the bond council, it's paying, there's lots of expenses and I can go over the hundreds of pages of PDF that with anyone who would like. Line is that's how the system works if you want to use the state, how the state finances infrastructure projects, drinking water and clean water. So
if
tie
you
and
don't-
bond will, especially since you have this resolution now, every month when they submit their invoice, they will provide a description of what they have done. That is completely separate
Yes,
from
we-
then taking all bills and submitting them to EFC and saying, okay, our contractors have done the work they said they were gonna do, now you need to approve all of our documentation, our invoices, our contracts, our canceled checks. And then once you approve it, then you'll pay us back at the 70-30 rate per payment, I guess, or just, they call it disbursements.
So that's provided the town has a reserve to make these payments before. reimbursement.
Well, once we hit, so all the resolutions that we passed last week allow us to submit a project finance application in the portal. 4 months after that, we should have an executed agreement with EFC, and that's when the short-term financing will kick in. And that's when we'll be able to stop having the town paying. And the town will be able to go to EFC and say, here are the bills, and we'll have to. So, and again, it has to be worked out. The exact details have to be worked out with the accountant and, the supervisor and the town clerk's office. But that's the overall sort of big picture. And
And
I'm always here.
Your profession is project management, correct? So far, not putting you on the spot, don't look scared. My question is that we were surprised about the original, it was 238 grand. Then we add another 12.5, which was specifically excluded on the contract, 12,800.
For the seeker.
Yeah, okay. So now we're coming to another point where that 250,000 now doesn't cover submitting bills. Right?
Go on.
So can you look down the road for us and say, by the way, it doesn't include this or that or the other thing? Because every time, it seems like we should have did, it's not that we should have did a better job reading the contract. It's very hard to understand. And they tell you what's included, and I'm just asking if you have the ability to say, hey, guys, this is not included, so be prepared for this in a year, or 6 months, or 3 months.
You have my commitment that we'll do that. But other than Bill, I don't think anyone in this town has any experience on this. The town board, Jaren, myself, this is all the first time that we're doing this, that I know of. So,
Right.
yes.
Well,
there's
I've
some
worked on
bumps.
engineering drinking water projects.
No, I said
Okay.
you did.
Oh, okay,
included
sorry.
you. Did I not?
No, I thought you said all of us didn't have experience.
No, no,
Okay.
I'm just asking
Bill and Jaren. have-
if you
Okay.
could just
Yeah.
look at what else we should expect. I think
So in
There's
all
a
fairness, we did have a conversation about this, about the disbursement and the fact that the town could do it, or Ty and Bond can do it, or we could figure out a way to kind of do it internally. And,
yes, we did.
okay, just so we're on the same page.
We did.
Great, so we just need to figure out how to formalize all of that now,
I just
so that
don't-
everyone gets what they want,
Yeah, and like,
including information.
tell me if I'm wrong here, but I've done several, not 1.4 million, but several, couple $100,000 grants. $400,000 grant for a fire truck. It's just about getting the bills together
Mhm.
and then passing them off to the grant administrator, whoever's doing it, and they approve it, and they send you the money, so.
Yeah, but that's missing a step. The step I'm concerned about is the town paying invoices from our reserve funds before we're reimbursed.
Well.
So that's probably a question for the accountant then.
Yeah,
Well,
to be
that's-
honest with you, a lot of times you're out 30 or 60 days anyways on the bill. As long as you get the bill from the work and you submit it timely, you should have the money back within the 30 or 45 days to make the payment to the company.
That's
When we bought our.
That's Randy's concern, but the concern I'm hearing from John and others, correct me if I'm wrong, is there's this concern that this is a huge administrative effort that the town doesn't have the capacity to handle.
I think John's concern more is that you just said it's gonna cost money to do that, and this wasn't something he thought was gonna cost money.
Well,
So,
It is.
somebody has to do it, right?
I know,
So,
but you have to be realistic, it's gonna cost, like, do you do it? I mean, do we hire you?
Right,
Pay
that
you a
is what
little
we had
bit
talked
more an
about.
hour to work with Carolyn if she has to have the login, and then we just give you the login, and
I would like to talk to Bill about next steps on that, because I think that there are I just have some procurement questions for him, and I think we'll report back. Does that sound good?
Yes.
So my ultimate concern is the total cost of this project and the affordability of it.
Right.
And so now we're into this project. Monies have been expended, and the completion is 2 years out, best case. I haven't seen a projection of what the cost of this will be to the residents in the water district and the affordability of it. And I'm concerned about that. Because, initially, the bonds or the grants were given, and it was just, this is wonderful, nothing to worry about. But then there's, $1 million that has to be repaid interest-free.
Yep.
And then there's other fees that are being tacked on that we were unaware of, that just keep coming on.
I'm not sure that, I'm sorry, they were unaware of, they just weren't necessarily included in the scope from the engineer.
Either way, my
Okay.
concern nonetheless
Okay.
is for the total cost, the ultimate cost to the residents when this is completed.
Right.
The affordability of it.
Right.
Because the town is liable that the water district cannot pay the amounts it's spent.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
But
The
Yes.
town.
I'm asking Bill.
the answer is yes.
Okay. But the thing is that this is money that the state routinely gives to municipalities. They want to give us the money and they want this project to happen, right? So.
We all do. My concern is the affordability.
So the comptroller's office manages and is involved in helping to make sure that any individual water user does not, and also EFC. Like in fact, every grant that's submitted now, the engineers have to write in the user cost. And the updated intended use plan that was just submitted by May 29th that you all approved, it's 2 pages. On the second page, it includes at the very bottom, cost per user. So the data is there, the information is there.
Do you know how much that costs?
It was like
500,
$580.
about $500 a year. So the information exists, if you would like it, it would be nice that we could have, just let us know what you'd like, and we can provide it in a timely fashion.
I was about to say that. Couple weeks ago, I read it over, and it was after they had, Bond had a projection of the grant money and the interest-free loan and the cost to the users. It was like $550 a year
To pay back the interest-free loan,
to pay back whatever's borrowed.
whatever's borrowed.
I saw that.
Yeah,
And that was for the new almost $4 billion.
yeah, and that was for a higher price. And I don't live in Rensselaerville, but when I saw $580 for a new system annually, I said, wow, this is pretty good.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
And
As long as it
that's what I
happens.
thought. And the other thing, that was for the capital return, the payment of the capital. Again, we need to come up to the current century. And we need to, in addition, prepare and draft a water ordinance that's going to spell out how the system's going to be used and the payment method for the capital, and also the amount for usage per gallon that's going to pay for the operation and maintenance costs on a daily basis, on an annual basis. And I will tell you that if the cost of the operation and maintenance and capital repayment is above a certain amount, the controller requires the town to submit an application for ultimate approval. But right now, the threshold for water district for the typical property, which is a residence, is $1,400 per year. And at 580 or 550, I can't remember what it was, but it was in that range. You're a long way away from
But is it
1,400.
on top of what you're paying now?
No,
No, it's all included.
it's all included at the end.
So if they're paying $800 a year now, the water district,
I think it's gonna be 1,300.
1,300.
total. So 500 is not the total.
$500 a year for each of the 79 residents who are on the water.
How much do you pay for water today?
It varies by household, but
No,
let's say it's around
about.
$800.
How much?
$800.
So by putting in this water system, you think it's gonna go down to 550? Or is it gonna be 800 plus 550?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a simple.
That's what I'm saying, yes. That's what I believe. That's an additional cost. Just like right now, the sewer bills are what they are because we're paying the bond off.
Yeah.
Once that bond gets paid off, we can either reduce the sewer bills, or we could keep them where they are to start preparing, for reserves, because we don't have anything.
Right, that was my question. So,
So to pay, so it's 360 months divided by, 79 households, it comes out to about $500 a year.
Jaron, which report, I'm sorry, but I want to see that 550. I did not see it. What report is that in?
It's in the intended use plan. It's on the second page.
IUP.
On the bottom.
Correct, right in the middle towards the bottom. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you that the rate for usage in the typical situation in other towns that I've done this is anywhere from, $5 per 1,000 gallons or, $20 to $25 per 1,000 gallons. And with a 500, and just say for the sake of discussion here, $550 a year capital project plus, say, $20 per 1,000 gallons, you're going to get nowhere near $1,300 on an annual basis to pay this off. If anything, I would think it's going to be cheaper. And the other thing, just to alleviate everyone's concerns here, this had to be done. Let's make no mistake about it. And if it wasn't done, you would be on a far larger problem. And the plateau would be precarious because that system is collapsing.
I agree.
It had to be done. And you're doing it efficiently and you're doing it the correct way. And the mechanism will be straightened out as we go along. And I appreciate and I understand all the concerns. I get it. You're the final arbiters, people come to you. But one, you're doing it the right way. And two, based upon the numbers I've seen, you're going to be less than what they're paying now, which is a good thing. And the other thing is, I'm repeating myself, but when this is done, we're going to do a water ordinance so that there can be no departure from what has to be done on an annual basis. And typically what's in the water ordinance is the capital charges are due or on the town tax bill annually. And if they're not paid, then it gets kicked down to the county and they pay you. All right? On the O&M, if that's usually billed quarterly with the meters, which would be great, you're going to have somebody read the meters. You'll get the amount and then you can compute what is due on a quarterly basis. And by the end of the third quarter, if resident A is not current on the first 3 quarters, then the arrears is placed on the town tax bill. So you're going to get your money.
I just looked at my bill in Tennessee, and it's extremely rural water supply, wells into, the system, there's no reservoir or anything, and I pay about 2.5 cents per gallon. Now, there's a starting fee, which I think is like, before I was using water, I was paying like $15 a month. So I'm sure there's probably, like you said, $15 for the first 1,000 gallons or something like that. But,
And so I work with the engineers to develop the O&M schedule. It's not that difficult.
yeah, and once you have, I think that some people are going to be super happy and other people are going to be super disappointed when you actually get the water meters in, because then you're going to actually see what people are really using.
Exactly.
That's
Because
right.
there are people getting
Exactly
shellacked
correct.
right now because they're not there, but they're paying. But how do you figure that? Like number of toilets, faucets, or something? It's
Yeah.
the most half-assed thing I've ever heard in my life. But I understand it's what they had to do. But once that comes in, you're going to be like, "Holy cow!"
Pay for what you use.
That's exactly right.
John, to your point, what they're paying now or what I pay now for water is irrelevant because there's going to be water meters in place. And what we're paying now is a budgeted amount that we put together based on
Yeah.
historic values that we have no way of actually knowing.
I think this, I'm excited about this whole project.
It should be.
And I think that you're gonna see the property values in Rensselaerville increase. Because that, now you can actually drink water
Yeah.
or bathe with water.
That's the point, I mean, you're making bills that the money you're paying right now is going to water you can't use. So any amount that you're paying more is the
Yeah.
water that you can actually use, so.
Yeah. And I think you're gonna wind up paying, not you, but your
Yeah.
residents.
All right. All right, that was a good meeting. Any other audience comments? Brian, we miss you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.